everyone, welcome to the 420 Smoke Room. So today we'll be having Candice on. She is a cannabis activist. We are going to wait for her to join us. I can't wait. I'm kind of excited about this interview. I'm sending her a message now, letting her know we're on and we're live. For anyone who's interested, we are live on Relevnt. Go ahead and head over there and join if you're not already there. We would love to have you. We do lives on a regular. Definitely join us. I'm messaging Candice back. She's about to be hopping on now. I'm excited for her to tell you all about what she does in the cannabis community. She is very powerful, I feel like. She has a lot of platforms. She works for a couple different organizations. I feel like her input is really important. So hopefully she is joining us any moment. It's okay. Welcome, Candice. How are you?
Doing good. How are you, love?
Good. I kind of informed people that we were doing an interview while waiting for you. If you want to tell everyone what organizations you're from, we would love to hear.
Yes. I would love to. I'm with the Human Solution International, and what we do is we originally started out, Joe had a court case, a cannabis court case that he had to fight. In a legal state, he got busted for his Willow Creek Springs, and so he had to fight. They basically took everything from him, but he won. He won his case, and so what he did was created a way to fight your case by how he did it. You know what I mean? And so the Human Solution International will get people to your court case so that you're like not alone, and so that you can tell you step by step how to fight your case.
Right, so you have supporters with you and people backing you up and validating what's going on.
Right. But since now there's less and less, there's still some, but there are less and less cannabis cases, fortunately. So we still come across some of those that we do, but we don't have as many as we used to. So we've kind of revamped the program a little bit.
Alrighty.
And we are now very excited about our mentor program that we're fixing to release.
Ooh, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that'll help the prisoners that are getting out now to have somebody who can give them, the Last Prisoner Project will be joining with us, and giving them some funds. And then they will have a mentor that is with them. So when they get out, they're institutionalized. They don't really know how to fill out an application or anything like that, because everything now is done online. And so we would be that support. We would give the person getting out a mentor set for them that is certified and is trained to be able to take care of that person's any need they come across. So we're really excited about that.
Oh, that sounds exciting. I definitely would love to see how that turns out and be more active on reporting the turnout.
Right. No, it's just getting started. It's in the mix. I think we got 4 or 5 mentors right now that are getting trained and ready to go for any prisoners that we might come across that are being released that need help.
Oh, that is so exciting. So you'll be helping them get applications, maintain a job, figure out how to get a job, figure out how to fill out the information for a house, how to open a bank account, how to pay your bills online.
Yeah, or just be there for them. Maybe they're having a hard day and they need to, we'll have weekly calls where we'll check in on them, see, if they need socks, because they don't even know how to cook. My son got home and he was cooking all his spreads that they make in prison. You know what I mean? They're institutionalized.
Right.
So even Craig said that he got out and he went to the store and he was bombarded with all these options and he was like, I don't know what to do.
Right. I could see that being an issue or a complication after so many years of being institutionalized, not being able to have the skills needed to inquire, because it's not like they open the kitchen to the inmates to just learn how to cook. So they know how to make grilled cheese with an iron and the tricks to the trade of all the cool little, or a cook up with, without actually cooking.
Right. Exactly.
So
And so,
definitely, I like that. I like being able to see them grow and become more independent and self-sufficient with technology and house training, things that aren't actually offered for inmates. That's awesome, for sure.
right. And then when they get out, normally either they've lost their family because their family didn't agree with their cannabis case, you know what I mean? And they're not supporting them anymore, unfortunately. Or they just don't have anything because they've been in prison so long, they've most likely lost their stuff. And so they
Correct.
don't have socks, underwear, nothing to come out with.
Yeah,
So the
so
Last Prisoner
rebuilding from
Project gives
scratch.
them a $4,000 help to buy all that stuff. So buy all the stuff they don't
Okay,
have
so
in
how
this
do you
state.
participate in that program if someone was getting out and wanted to figure out how to rebuild everything from scratch? How would they participate in that, and how long? How what do they have to do to qualify?
Well, what they would do is they would contact thsintl.org, and I'll put that in the comments. And they would contact them and tell them, I'm either know somebody who's fixing to be released or somebody that just got out, and let us know, and we'll start working with you on getting them in contact with the application process and everything to get started.
Okay, that's exciting. Definitely, that is very good. So at this point, I know you work for more than one organization. What are the other entities that you are involved in?
Yes, ma'am. I love Farrah Hunter and Rena and Brandy. I'm a part of that group with KM420 Radio, and they're just doing a fantastic job. They actually have a vibe on here, and so does THSI Texas chapter has a vibe too. They can look up.
Yes, I'm actually in both of those vibes, I believe. I know for sure the radio one because I've checked them out a couple times. I like that vibe for sure.
Right.
So,
Yeah, they're a great group of ladies, and their whole thing is to educate about cannabis. Like, they play good music, but they also on Sundays have all different kinds of podcasts, cannabis podcasts on, and just educating the public about the benefits of it, and that it's not the devil's lettuce and all that good shit.
see, I didn't know all that. I'm definitely gonna have to tune in a little more over there. Then I definitely
Oh
want
yeah.
to get some
They're
knowledge.
just amazing, and they're both they're all part of the Human Solution International as well. And she's the Arkansas chapter with, I believe, Wendy may be joining over there with her soon, hopefully.
Oh, that's exciting. That
We'll see.
is.
We'll see.
That is. So, I also know that you have products that you talk about. What company is that you market products
Oh,
for?
yes. Okay. So the Willow Creek Springs, yes, I just joined in on them as a representative, and they have some amazing products. But I mean, the reason that I joined on with them is because I've watched Joe over the years. He's got this great, company, Willow Creek Springs, and he's always just poured money into the Human Solution. Anytime we needed anything, he was like, "Oh, Willow Creek Springs has got y'all's back," and they just formally became sponsors of the Human Solution International, where a certain percentage of every sale is going to go to helping the prisoners. So, yes, I am also a representative with Willow Creek Springs. So, if anybody needs any CBD products here in Texas, I got your back.
Oh, so what kind of CBD products? I'm interested.
I actually have a vibe on Facebook called Willow Creek Spring Representative, or not Facebook, sorry, Relevnt. And it tells you about all the different products that we offer and all that good stuff. And then also you can go to willowcreeksprings.com and check out the website. We actually got a forum there where all the members, you got to join the forum, of course, but all the members, you can talk to different representatives, ask any questions you have about it. Just get involved with that whole community right there so that you can learn about all the products and what we do.
Awesome. I'm excited about that. So I kind of want to lead into a little bit about your cannabis use and what led you into cannabis. But hold on a second. My dogs are about to bark because the door, I think. Oh, they
Oh, I
did.
got you.
Okay, they didn't. I assumed they would all go crazy. My husband walked in, and I kind of thought that the dogs were gonna go crazy for a second, but they didn't. So go ahead. So what led you into cannabis use? What got you to this point?
Okay, yeah. I will started out with just, I have PTSD, I have a lot of severe anxiety, major depression. And like most people, I started around when I was 16, 17, just to use it, like, because it was fun and it was what everybody was doing. But when I used it, I noticed that it was helping me with my anxiety, and it was helping calm me down and helping me bring me out of depression. And, you know, you're sitting in that stoner circle and you're always talking to your friends. This should be legal, you know, I don't even know why people are still going to jail. And then one day it just kind of hit me, you know, well, get up and stand up and fight for it if you believe that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So about 5 years ago, I just had an epiphany with, you know, being mad at the government for lying to us all this time, and just I got involved with Anonymous. I don't know if y'all know what Anonymous is, but they're an activist group that basically is for all change, like indigenous rights, and I got involved with them, and we had I met with the COCW group, and I was with them for almost 3 years. And what we did is we had walks almost every weekend, all over Texas. And we would go out with our signs and our flags, and we would educate the public because the bills and stuff were coming up. And we were letting them know how they could make a difference, how they could change things, because unfortunately we can't petition here in Texas. So there's a little bit more to what you got to do to fight here in Texas to get it done. So we would just educate the public face to face out on the street for almost 3 years straight, every weekend.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
That's like a lot of work as well, and dedication that you obviously were serious about this, because to every weekend to be consistent like that shows that you're truly dedicated to the cause.
Oh, definitely. It just helped me so much. And I mean, I lost a mom to suicide, and she was on pharmaceuticals galore. Like, they had her on Oxycontin and hydrocodone and Xanax and just bottles and bottles of crap. And I really believed that if cannabis was legal, and if I could have got her to get on that instead, maybe she'd be still alive today. So, you know, it's a real passion for me to, you know, see so many people hurting and know that this plant is the option, like, and know that with all my blood and all my heart, and just do anything that I can to make a difference, and kind of just threw myself into everything I could to change things. And then I found the Human Solution International, and that's basically head the Texas chapter of, we got so many amazing people. You're in there now, and so if anybody in the Texas area or just wants to help the Texas area and wants a group of people, great people that are going to have your back, and you want to be added to that chat, just hit me or Trisha up and we'll add you.
Yes, I recently just started working with them, and I really love everything that they're doing, and me and Glenn are going to sit down soon. I was supposed to sit down with him already, but life's been pretty crazy on my end.
Right.
With overworking myself, I think more or less is what it is. But I love what I do, so it's kind of like not work. I like it. But yeah.
Right.
So anyways, long story short, we've discussed a little bit in our previous podcast where maybe doing something in Michigan or working a little more with him. Not exactly sure what that will entail yet, but stay tuned because I'm sure it'll entail something good. For sure.
No.
But I'm excited No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. We got so many great people in that chat, and man, what I always knew, if we could get together, I mean, everybody is a part of a different group. Like, we got Candice off, and you know what I mean? They're all different kind of groups in there. And I've always thought if we could all join together, if you want to still support your group, that's fine. Just let's come together so that we're not doing things at the same time. Right,
joining forces. That is so important. Joining forces, yes, because that's exactly what I was just telling Lori and Steve from Candice app the other day. Like, if we could get every activist to come together, come on the same page, or figure out what state's done what to become legal, and figure out if we could come together and make whatever states haven't, how could we? get there. Like, all of us come together, put our heads together. With enough of us activists in the community, there's got to be a correct way within the order of operation to do so.
Right.
Which I'm really excited about the fact that Delta 8 right now, that the lawsuits were taking place and that they can go back on the shelves for now until we figure out the next issue. But I'm definitely excited about that, because that has really been a lot of the talk lately on this show, is trying to figure out what the heck's going on with the Delta 8 and when will it be taken off the shelf, and who will they come after for continuing, because I know not everyone was going to listen. That's majority of income for Texas, farm-wise and hemp gardens, and there's so many entities that would be affected that was just crazy to just think that they were just going to slide that one on past everybody.
Yes, and that's what they do, and I would tell people that, and people think it's like a conspiracy theory, whatever, the government, but they don't understand. That is how sneaky they are here in Texas.
Well, I think that their order of operation is set up to where it's legally within the guidelines, but their guidelines are set up like no others. That, if I wrote the book on how I wanted to cheat and made that cheating book of rules, then it would be within the rules. But the book I wrote is set up with failure. So there's no options. Whereas we as the people, which is what United States is, how come Texas, as we as the people, don't actually have a say-so as we the people?
Yeah.
So like, there's so many ways. So when you're learning, like, the justice system for here in Michigan, at least, let me just put that down and say that, because this is nationwide. So if you're here in Michigan and you're in like elementary school back in the day and you're learning about the 3 different branches, the House of Representatives, the House of this, and all of that. Well, we the people are a version of that, and that's how it sets up to where the government can't cheat or make its own rules, basically, because we as the people have a vote and a say-so. But then I'm becoming educated where a lot of we as the people don't have a say-so in certain states. It depends on where you live, depends if you are we the people or you are not. Like, but wait a minute, you're in United States, so how are you not we the people? It doesn't make legitimate legal sense when you're looking at it as a legal, like the legal stuff. But if each state in line and jurisdiction, then yes. But in all technicalities, they should obviously be given the right to vote for what they want, and they should be able to vote for who they want. They should be able to vote for what type of senates they want. They should be able to do these things, especially with as far as technology is now and science and everything. There's no way that the law should not be advanced in Texas. But yet they want to adapt every other thing. Well, if you guys want to stay old school, stay old school. But then drop it all. Like, you know what I mean? You shouldn't pick and choose. If you want to get with the times, get with the times. But it's got to be one or the other. Like, you feel me?
I totally feel you. It's very confusing how they got all the different laws in all the different states. Like, and federally, they need to get it just descheduled and off that list. And that we're fighting on that too. The MORE Act, I believe, is still going through. It's just going through very slowly.
Well,
and I know that you wanted to come on and help me talk more about the prison reentry project and explain it a little better.
Yes, I definitely go for it.
Hey, I was just listening, and I thought maybe I could add to the conversation a little bit. Yeah, on the last thing that we were talking about, it is true. Like, each state has their own way of doing things, and unfortunately, it's been this way in Texas. And they're looking at prescription, actually, if I'm not mistaken, right, Candice? So it's a recommendation, but in Texas, it's going to be a prescription, which is a little different.
Right, because in federally, they can't prescribe it.
Right.
And if you've got a doctor and you're telling them you have to prescribe it, there's going to be very few doctors that are willing to do that because they're going to lose their license.
Right. So they basically keep taking these baby steps, but tying people's hands so they really can't even take the baby step.
Right. I feel like they're setting you up for failure.
Trying to take Delta 8.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're setting you guys up for failure with their order of operation. So you have to find a loophole within each rule and figure out how to work within those loopholes to get your goal accomplished, whatever those rules are. I haven't really learned all of Texas's rules or laws yet, but I definitely, as I go, I see there could be ways, but it's a matter of the order of operation without skipping steps. And if we, and there's the only way to actually bypass all of this, the whole shebang of trying to plot like we're winning Monopoly here, is to get the president to agree to make it legal, because that's what made it illegal in all of these states, is when the president made it a controlled substance, one, and then made it illegal. And then
yeah, they have to deschedule it, and
if they were to do that,
last night I was doing a weed speak and people were writing to reschedule. We don't want them to reschedule it.
No, we
if they
don't.
reschedule, it'll end up in the hands of big pharma completely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Possibly, but I don't think that that would be true, because if you recognized it as so an amendment here can't erase it, and if we take it out of one of the classes that's erasing, amending would just be changing where that like a pawn or piece would lay. So would it be class 1, 2, or 3? And if we took it from a 3 to a 1, amending it would take it back, I believe, to the 3, which is where it once was when it was legal. And then when we put it to a 1, all of Scheduled 1s made it illegal because those are illegal substances. So
having no schedule at all is really the best.
Yes.
Right.
That would be
decriminalization, period. Like, and we don't want big pharma to have a control over our thing. And see, in Texas, that's kind of what's happening.
Right. Exactly.
Only one dispensary right now in Texas. Who do you think's making all that money? And they've got 1 or 2 doctors that are able to prescribe it right now.
Right.
So we're making it a monopoly doing it that way. You know what I mean? And
so how do we get out of monopoly? Because we also have an issue here in Pontiac that just took place in the last 24 hours that I am still trying to fully educate myself on before I announce. But I want to speak on it since we're speaking on it now. But I don't want to be politically correct yet because I don't know for sure. But this is my understanding. Pontiac in Oakland County, Michigan, the mayor of the city did not win, but she appointed herself as the head of council on the marijuana council, which helps make our laws here. So how can you appoint yourself when here we have the right to vote? Like, we're fully on to everything. Everything I'm saying, like, we already have. Everything you guys are fighting for, we have it. So, like, the order of operation here just got skipped, okay? And if you are no longer... If the order of operation that gave you the power for you being the old mayor gave you the power, you're no longer the mayor. So how can you just appoint yourself? And she already committed this is the part I'm confused on. She already tried to reappoint herself as the mayor previously and then went and took signs. Like, there was all this controversy with her, which I really didn't keep up with because it was like mayor crap with Pontiac and I mean, whoever wins, wins. But then when she appointed herself as the marijuana head of council, now, do you know how financially what that position gave her? The legal rights and this and that. And right now we are fighting here in Pontiac for, what's the proper legal word? Ethnic backgrounds or people of color that have been living within Pontiac their whole life. They have the right of way to come in with a dispensary before the big companies that pay. So they want people that have been residents and living here. Those people have the right to get a dispensary granted to them beforehand. Because here there's fees. Like, it costs, there's money that's involved that's non-refundable just to get on the list without even knowing if you're going to get it or not. And they get that money off regardless. Okay. And then there's all this other money involved with their monopoly. And I feel like the lady at the mayor, what she just put herself was at the head of monopoly. And now she gets to control monopoly, which if you control monopoly, you in turn control still the city because the money will run the city. So even though you're no longer the mayor, you're still going to run the new mayor.
Girl, that all sounds very fishy to me. I'm not sure about your state because I haven't looked really into it, but what you're telling me is fishy as hell.
Oh, there's always something fishy here in Michigan for sure. And that's why you have to have these people paying attention to what the heck is going on. And see, and I'm not even, this is just something that I've just recently become aware of in the last hour and a half. So I'm trying to massively educate real quick in between getting ready for these podcasts and stuff. But at the same time, I'm does this really just happen today? Really? How did she do, when did this happen? Where,
you're crazy, right?
Right? And I'm somebody pinch me and wake me up.
Well, I'm gonna have to hop off in on, and Candice was talking about the project that we're working on. And
Yes.
I'm just so excited to be a part of it.
Me too. I'm excited to have you as a part of it, Wendy. I like to see what you can help it evolve and do. You're very full force and always on time and direct. I could definitely see some good changes continuing with you being a part of it and growing. Like, definitely.
Yeah. So I got interested. I've been kind of like doing different projects with Candice, who I love working with, and with Joe Grumbine, and just trying to kind of watch and see where I think I might be helpful. Like what could I do? Because I ran a nonprofit for 6 years that was very, very active. It took up all my energy for 6 years, and so I kind of was sitting back watching, trying to decide if I was ready to jump into something again. But this project really took my heart because, prisoners, first of all, many of them have been imprisoned through probably what could have been the strongest years of their life, 20, 30 years. And they come out and they may be debilitated physically, mentally. They have no idea about what the world is really like, cell phones. And even, my mother-in-law is staying with us now, and even the television, we just have a smart TV, so even just figuring out how to operate that, when they went into prison, they may have just had a TV they turned on, and had local channels. I mean, who knows? And getting a job, and are they able to take care of themselves? There's so many facets of it, and so it really. The project, I just think it's a really great project, and it's necessary. And like Candice was saying, many play prisoners are being let out, and so there's definitely a need. There's such a need for this. So I'm really excited to kind of lend my skills and my audience and work with these fantastic people. Like seriously, Bobby Rodrigo is like, gosh, he's been feeding people since the pandemic started. Like seriously. Like truckloads of food. People don't even know what these people are doing to help humanity because their focus has not been fully on social media. It's been just doing the job,
Yes.
We're very good at doing things and like helping people, but we're not really good at telling people about it. Like
right. Right. So
I would like to see more. I'm that's new to me. I didn't know any of the things that Wendy just said, so I definitely want to follow whoever that is and see what they're doing and help spread the word. Like if they're out there doing that positive of things, that's what I would like to be reporting to people and telling people about because that's what they need to hear. That's what needs to be up front and center. That needs to be the topic of the day.
Yeah. Right, definitely. Yeah, Bobby's been working his ass off, man. He actually is head over the Walk for Change, which is another nonprofit that's been doing a lot of work with indigenous people and just all change in general, not just cannabis. But so yeah, he's been feeding people God for the whole pandemic.
Yeah, the whole thing. Truckloads of food. He made connections with people to donate frozen fish and other items, and trucks them out himself to the reservations. Like, seriously.
Oh, wow.
This is like, there's so much that these folks do. Joe Grumbine doesn't talk about all he does either. I'm always trying to get him to talk about it. And we started a podcast ourselves. We started it here in the Relevnt app, but because it was brand new and we have a kind of a plan of what we want to do with it, we decided to move it to Instagram to build it up a little bit, and we'll be doing some stuff on Relevnt until it gets built up a little more, and then we'll come back full force. But yeah, it's funny we didn't do it this week. It's called the Sensical Show, and we decided not to do it this week. I had a bunch of doctor's appointments. I got some stuff going on, and people were looking for it. I was so excited.
Heck yeah.
Right, but that's awesome though when your audience is waiting for you, but lets them know that the information you're giving and the content is something that they really love and enjoy because they're waiting.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of just came out of Joe and I talking about common sense. It's a show about common sense, and but it seems like people are kind of picking it up, and so we can use that with the Human Solution also as it develops, But yeah, I mean, So thanks for having me jump in. I love you guys. You're both doing a great job here on Relevnt and pulling over your people, and we're going to keep growing this so it's the place for cannabis. And I'm so grateful that you're both here and working at it.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for coming on and describing that a little bit better.
Oh, no problem. Yeah. You do a great job. I just figured I'd add my 2 cents.
Well, I love both of your ladies' opinions.
Yeah. All right. Well, take care, Trisha. Take care, Candice.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That was Wendy from the Wendy Love Show, Ed Show, and she's also from Weed Speak and several other entities she works with, and she's now working with Candice as well at the Human National, how do I say that? The Human National...
well, we're trying to get her on. She hasn't officially, but she's been helping, and we're hoping that she does.
Oh, I definitely see that she'll be joining.
Yeah.
She'll be
joining.
But she
hasn't officially said, yes, I'm in, but we're hoping she comes in. So.
Well, Wendy, if you're re-listening to this part or you're catching the end of the replay, or you're still listening, I definitely think she'll be in. I think that she's got a couple things of her own to handle, but I could tell by how positive she is about this and how the tone in her voice that she's not going anywhere quite yet.
I love her to death, and I will help her with anything that she has going on, regardless. Either way, have been and will continue.
Yes. So, do you have any topic that you want to specifically shine light on yourself?
I guess just that mentor program. If you can go read all about it, go check out our website. I really, y'all go look at that. It's THSINTL. And then that way you can get a better idea of all the things that we're involved with. We're revamping our website right now. So it's just, there's a newsletter that just went out about the mentor program being finally ready to go. So you can read all about it over there. And then if you have any prisoners that you know of, number one, fighting a case. Like, that's what we do, you know what I mean? That's what we started doing. So, number one, if you're fighting a cannabis case and you need help, contact thsintl.org. And also, any community service. Like, let's say you got community service because you had a joint at the park and you need to fulfill that. You can fulfill it through Human Solution International. We're set up to be able to do that. So,
oh, that's awesome.
We can have you do some activism work instead of working on the street picking up trash. So,
yeah, that is awesome. And how many states is that service for the community service available in?
International.
So it's international. So it's all the states.
In California, Arkansas, Texas. Wherever you are, all over, everybody is capable of helping any one of these people. So,
okay.
International, you can just go to the website. We have many people involved. So.
You guys do so many great things over there that I can't wait to continue to try to start working with you guys as well. Like, I don't even know what I would be able to bring to the table because it's like you guys do everything. I wouldn't even know.
We need more voices like yours, like. We got plenty for you to do, love.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, every time I hear, I'm like, all the fabulous stuff, I'm so excited, but I'm like, what would I bring, like, to the table? But my voice I can bring, I got a good voice, I'll use that.
That's all we need. We need people talking about it and telling people about it and getting involved. I mean, I know it's very, we're involved in a lot, so it's very intimidating, but we'll find the best spot for you. And like I can do stuff in Texas, but I'm not in your state, so
right. And we don't have anybody here in Michigan, from what I've been told. There is no Michigan yet.
No.
So I am interested, but we'll have to talk off air on that one for sure. We'll reconnect. But yeah, so. Do you have any other medical issues that led you to smoking cannabis, or is it just your PTSD and anxiety? Because, I also do a medical podcast in regards to, it's not just about cannabis, just medical in general, but I wanted to find out if you had any other medical issues, just me being nosy.
Right. Yes, I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder, severe anxiety disorder, PTSD, anxiety, and sleep disorder, and then the personality disorder, go figure. And so I've got lots of mental issues that I take no medicine for whatsoever now. And
Okay.
then, except cannabis. And then I've got, of course, I just recently found out about 4 years ago that I have 2 bulging discs on my back and 3 pinched nerves. So I'm dealing with pain as well now.
Okay.
And I take a very low dose of tramadol.
Okay.
I use a lot of the Willow Creek Spring rub for my back, and then as well as smoking and RSO for that as well. But the only medication that I'm on right now is for my back, other than cannabis.
Okay, that's awesome though. Like to be able to get off of the previous medications and be able to just consume marijuana.
Right.
I definitely
And my goal when it gets legal and I can have a better option of cannabis, because right now I got to go under the table, in the black market to get mine, and I don't always know what I'm getting, and I can't always get a particular strain that helps me. So my goal is when we got an RV, and we will be moving to a legal state at one point as soon as we get this paid off, and starting a nonprofit grow for people who can't afford their meds. And to try to get them, it's hard to relocate.
It definitely is.
And this way, people could just bring their RV on our land and chill for a minute and find a job and be able to, get their meds legally if they're wanting to move, and to have a place to go do that and find a place to live. You know what I mean? You need to get there first before you can find a job.
Right. It sounds like you got some pretty good plans ahead of you. Just in time, those will work themselves out as time goes.
Right. And then my goal is to get off all pain medicine whatsoever as soon as I can get a good flow of good medicine.
True. That obviously changes is a game changer.
Right.
For sure. So at this point, what state would you choose if you did? Like, I know you said go to a legal state, and you're in Texas. Obviously, getting Texas legal would probably be the best, because then you wouldn't need to relocate. First.
Right.
Secondly,
I've got several places in mind. We haven't really
locked
down a place yet. We're taking our time with it. We're not sure yet.
Well, this is what I've also recently learned is each state, even though they're legal, they have their own set of rules of what you can and can't grow. Exactly. And I know that within Michigan, I think Michigan is the number one where you can have the most per person to grow. And right. You're allowed to grow, and the captions and the rules and the regulations to grow are the bendiest or easiest, however you want to put that. But before you do make your decision, if you're going to leave the state you're in for a legal state, I would pick whatever state has the best rules for your goal, because that farm you're thinking of, for instance, if you chose Ohio, you couldn't have that farm. Even though they're legal, you can't grow.
Well, that's what our issue ran into, because we were originally thinking Colorado. And then we found out that if we got land in Colorado, nobody could come on that land, and we couldn't split it up the way we wanted to. So Colorado ended up being not the place we're going. So
true. Plus, doesn't Colorado have surveillance rules where you have to be able to surveil your the federal government has to be able to have all access with live cameras to surveil your grow at all times from A to Z of operation? So the rules and the guidelines in the state you choose are definitely important, because if that is not something you're wanting the feds to be able to have access to, then that obviously wouldn't be the state you're wanting to live in. So you definitely need...
And that is exactly why we don't know yet. We're looking into the different laws in the different legal states and finding out which one will work for us best.
Well, from what I'm hearing, Michigan seems to be having some of the best packaging deals from what I'm hearing. Yeah. And even the nonprofit grows. There are some of those already here in Michigan. There are several organizations that do nonprofit grows, and you can register to get your medication for free from out here. There are also ones that the insurance company, I believe, will pay for. I think it's 2.5 ounces, through a nonprofit organization. Right. So there's lots of options out here for growers, for the poor to consume medication. There's recreational, there's legal, there's dispensaries, there's so many different types of options to choose from, that they haven't really left out a category that every citizen over the age of 21 has the option to grow.
Right.
Without telling the government or just doing it's just you do it. You don't need a license. You don't need to tell nobody. You don't need any money to start up. You just you're allowed, and there's no regulation to it other than the 12 plants per person. Like there's no one like regulations like the federal cameras like the other states and stuff like that. Ours is the most easiest and biased per se, compared to from what I'm understanding. Which see, I always thought that like everyone got the same package that we got. So when you say legal, you're allowed to do what we can do. But then I'm discovering as I'm becoming more of an activist within this or listening to the activists per se, I'm discovering that is not the case. And oh my God, we are lucky.
State, you can still be prosecuted federally. So even if you feel comfortable in your state with the laws that y'all have, the feds can still come in at any point and get you.
Correct.
People don't understand. They're like, it's legal.
But we also have other laws now, so I don't think that is fully true anymore here in Michigan with the federal part.
I hope not. I really hope not. I haven't studied, like I said, the Michigan area.
And
so
we even have it now, laws taken. We are so far advanced, I'll say that. We even have laws now where your job cannot drug test you for marijuana in certain counties. We also have jobs that where if you drug test dirty for marijuana, they can't discriminate and not hire you.
Awesome.
We are pretty far advanced in the marijuana fight. And we haven't even had...
That is great. I love that.
We've got so many... We've got schools where you can attend to learn how to grow. We've got there's so many. I don't think there's anything we don't have except for I don't even know. We've got delivery services. We've got you can get it delivered to your house. You don't got to leave. You can get it like Uber Eats basically, but with edible eats. There's all these different services and there's so many options. There's no way that a citizen here is going to go without medication.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that y'all state is getting with the program. I just so hope that Texas does soon, and the way it's looking, Big Pharma is going to have their hands all in it.
Well,
Texas
is already the Big Pharma in general. So you got to look at it like this. The reason they were always against it is because the manufacturing companies to produce most of the pharmaceutical medications are located in Texas. So that's going to put them out of business to a good percentage. The more states around Texas that become legal, it's already putting them out of business to a percentage because like you and I and millions of other people have discontinued certain meds due to cannabis use. So at this point, that leaves them with no net profit because you're not discontinuing to continue a different service they offer. You're fully no longer associated with them, so they're no longer getting the funding or checks that you as a citizen was providing to them, regardless of what meds you were on.
Yeah,
so,
and that was just it. We knew that Big Pharma had a lot of money to lose. If you think about it, Texas is 3 times the size of Colorado, and so we would make 3 times as much as Colorado does. And Big Pharma is going to lose out on all those pharmacy medications people are going to get off of and switch to cannabis. So they're trying to make it to where Big Pharma is not going to lose any of that money, that Big Pharma is still going to have their pockets full. And that's my opinion.
Well, Big Pharma is ran by the federal government, and Texas is the only one that doesn't follow all the same federal laws or guidelines. That's why they chose their headquarters to be there, because then they can't be fully regulated by the FDA, even though all of their meds are, their actual, the company and the entities itself aren't. So the only way that they can get into the marijuana pocket is through Texas, because it's the only state out of all of our states that has free jurisdiction right now, technically, because the federal government runs every other state. Texas is the only one the federal government doesn't run. So once if it becomes fully legal in all the states, or the federal government makes it fully legal, then it's order of operation there. So if I don't get my hands in that pot before the federal government does, it's him against me. So of course the pharmaceutical company wants that pot, and the Fed's going to get every other state. So let me have this. You know what I mean? Like this, let me have this, or you're going to put me out of business and I won't be able to provide to your other states. So, of course, the government is going to let them have it because we need them still for the rest of the other companies. If their warehouse is shut down, what would happen to us?
Right.
So it's kind of like a catch-22.
Very much. be at 4 o'clock, but I'm 2 minutes late for it.
Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead and go, and we will catch you next time.
On time you need me, anytime.
Definitely.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, maybe we'll do coffee and chat one day this week.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I will catch you next time at the 420 Smoke Room.
Awesome. Y'all have a wonderful day, and go check out those websites.
Definitely. I will also attach them here.